Or the tree crews. They have to clear those trees away first before our crews can then work on repairing that damage.
EPB tells us about their severe weather plans as they're repairing outages around the Channel 3 viewing area.
And some Grundy County churches work to make sure everyone has a safe place to go in stormy weather.
And most all schools were out today because of the storm system. We'll let you know what goes into that decision-making progress. Our storm team coverage starts now on Channel 3 Eyewitness
With coverage
News.
you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6.
Damaged homes, downed power lines, and hail. Those were all the aftermath of severe storms in the Channel 3 viewing area. I'm Cindy Sexton.
And I'm David Carroll. We hope you made it okay. All of our counties were under a tornado watch for a few hours, but we are glad to report that has been lifted. And almost all schools in our viewing area were closed today, and the schools that decided to open also made the decision to leave early.
Several wrecks backed up traffic for miles, and some of the counties in our viewing area are not out of the woods just yet when it comes to heavy rain. Channel 3 is on storm team coverage. We have crews in all parts of the viewing area.
And we want to send out a big thank you to the utility crews and other workers who've been restoring power and clearing roads today. Our Kelly McCarthy is in Grundy County, also Natalie Potts in Whitfield, Lori Mitchell and Cameron Taylor here in Hamilton County. But we begin with a man who's been tracking that storm system for the past several days and who's been telling us this first day of March would be interesting. Here's Paul Barris.
So I guess March came in like a lion. It's supposed to go out like a lamb then. We'll see what happens at the end of the month. But as of right now, it's pretty much over with. Let's take a look at that radar and we'll show you what's happening. Almost the whole viewing area, actually the whole viewing area, you don't have to worry about any more severe weather. The severe weather is just south and east of our viewing area now. Cherokee County, just a few sprinkles left over. The Blue Ridge area, showers pretty much over with. Ellijay area is pretty much over with. Southern part of Gilmer County, still some moderate rain. Out near Pickens County, that's not in our viewing area. There's some pretty good storms still out there. But Gordon County, just a few sprinkles south of Calhoun, and most of it's out near Bartow County and down near Rome, Georgia. That is not in our viewing area. So we're going to put this into motion, show you which way that rain's moving. And again, it's pushing off toward the east. Numerous reports of hail across the area. We had the largest hail was in the western part of Marion County earlier on today. We had reports of tennis ball size hail, 2.5 inches in diameter. Can you believe that? And that's when we had some golf ball size hail later on in Jasper, and then we had some nickel size hail to dime size hail right over Hamilton County, not too far from here, Channel 3, and Bradley County had some pretty good hail too at times, and reports of hail and ping pong ball size hail just south of Calhoun out in Gordon County. So plenty of thunderstorm activity today to get us in the mood for what could be an interesting spring season as far as severe weather goes. I've got the complete details on the 7-day in just a few minutes.
All right, Paul, thank you.
Well, we saw hail and heavy winds and the downed trees and power lines throughout Hamilton County.
And Channel 3's Lori Mitchell kicks off tonight's team coverage with one of the hardest hit areas. Lori?
Major cleanup underway here in North Chattanooga. We're on Westwood Avenue where two massive trees fell. One landed in a lady's yard. The other one came crashing down onto her home. Check out this video. You can see that very large, deep-rooted tree that just toppled over onto her house. It messed up her porch, also caused a large hole in her ceiling. And check out this picture from inside her house. You can see how big that hole was. Also, the rain came pouring in. She had to get buckets to collect the water. She tells me she was home at the time. She was close by. She heard a loud noise, saw the tree coming down into her home, but she was not hurt. She was just left with a very big mess on her hands. And back out here live, a lot of family members and some friends and neighbors have come over to help with the cleanup process. They've worked to get part of that tree off her house. Also, they've covered the hole with a tarp. They're still here and they're probably going to be working late into the evening. Now, a lot of folks in this neighborhood are just getting home from work. They're assessing the damage, and a couple of neighbors came over to tell me this isn't the only house that got hit by a tree. There's actually a couple others behind this home that did no major damage, just some structural problems to the home, and again, a big mess on their hands. This lady told me she's happy to get rid of the trees. She's been wanting them to come down, not in this way, but she was afraid they were going to fall onto her house. and they did. This neighbor also is without power. We've seen crews in the area. Hopefully they'll get that restored very quickly. We want to go now to Channel 3's Kelly McCarthy. She is standing by in Grundy County, where several churches there, I understand, opened their doors recently. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Lori. That's right. We have about 6 storm shelters open in place in case anyone needed a place to go during these storms. Now, the storms are over now. They really hit the Grundy County area around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And first and foremost, people were seeing big pieces of hail cover their backyard. We got Facebook video in from some of our viewers. And aside from the hail, we saw strong gusts of winds. But I talked to the dispatch center, and they said none of those, they had some trees falling down, but no injuries, no damages to any homes, so that's some good news to report. But just as a precaution, the community in Grundy County wanted to open up 6 locations, especially for those living in mobile homes, where they could have a structurally safe place to go if these storms got really bad.
We have shelters in different places throughout the county, especially for people in mobile homes. When the winds get up and storms get strong, we want people to get out of those mobile homes and get into a shelter.
Please leave that. We certainly replace, there's grants and money and all that, and to replace that, we cannot replace lives. So don't hang on to your valuables, let them go. I mean, I know that's hard to say, but let them go.
And luckily, that wasn't the case for anyone here in Grundy County during this storm, but they want everyone to know in the community that in case the weather gets bad, there will always be a shelter in place for people to take cover. There's also other shelters around our viewing area in Bradley County, Hamilton County, and Meigs County, so other viewers could go to a safe place if they need to as well. I'm Kelly McCarthy reporting in Grundy County, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Good to know. Good preparation there in Grundy County. Well, almost all of the schools in our viewing area closed for the day because of the severe weather.
And the ones that opened let out early in most cases. Now, as far as we know, all the schools are open tomorrow. Let's make that clear. In the meantime, Channel 3's Natalie Potts talked with school officials in Whitfield County to find out more about what goes into the decision-making process. Hello, Natalie.
Hey guys, well, some schools canceled class last night while others canceled class today or let out early today. Students at Valley Point Elementary got to enjoy a few hours of wacky day at school today before pickup. School officials say their decision to close early all comes down to student safety. The school system takes it very seriously, and their direction comes directly from the County Emergency Management Agency and the National Weather Service.
With the high winds today, buses are large, so they catch a lot of wind, and it's just more dangerous for the drivers to be out if we know there's going to be high wind. And we really don't want anybody on the roads that doesn't have to be there.
I would have rather had it last night, or at least very early this morning instead of a little bit later.
As you heard there, some parents had to scramble to change their schedules last minute, but for the most part, for the parents that we spoke to, everyone was just glad to have their kids at home safe. And it looks like they made a good call because we just got off the phone with dispatch, several down power lines and down trees across roads throughout the county, and crews are working to clear off debris and restore power right now. But for now, reporting live in North Whitfield County, Natalie Potts, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Natalie. And coming up next on Eyewitness News at 6, EPB has been preparing for these severe storms all day.
And we'll be live next with how crews manage power outages during severe storms. Stay with us.
The threat of severe weather is over for the Tennessee Valley. Maybe a few sprinkles left over, especially in North Georgia. And that's about it. Clearing skies coming up tonight, and some pretty nice weather into the weekend. More winter-like as far as temperatures go. It's all coming up on my 7-day forecast.
Well, EPB spent the day preparing for the power outages in the Tennessee Valley.
They have thousands of outages across Hamilton County now to deal with. Channel 3's Cameron Taylor tells us how crews are working to get those downed wires fixed as soon as possible. Cameron.
Cindy and David, it's pretty loud out here, but before we get to EPB, I want to show you the damage the storm did to one home. A tree fell on top of a house. You may even see a stick hanging out of a tree limb, rather. So they're trying to clean that up at the moment. There were several thousand power outages across the Tennessee Valley. Let me throw some numbers at you. EPB right now trying to repair around 3,000 power outages. VEC around the same number. And North Georgia EMC is repairing around 1,000 power outages. So we spoke with John Pless with the EPB, who explains what the smart grid is and how it goes into effect during a situation like this. Take a listen.
The smart grid will typically take care of situations where if a line is down, it will automatically be de-energized, but we never want to take any chances.
And we've been keeping track of these power outages across the Tennessee Valley. We have them posted on our website, WRCBTV.com, and also inside our app. For now, live in Chattanooga, Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Cameron. Busy crews out there today. And coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, a murder that has gone unsolved for almost a year.
Police are still looking for whoever's responsible for killing a man in front of his mom and daughter.
It was very quick. We do think that it was planned out. They knew exactly where they were going and they knew who they were going after.
How you can help solve this Crime Stoppers case next. In Crime Stoppers, a brutal attack that left one man dead, and the killers have never been caught.
Nearly a year has passed since Michael Hines was killed in front of his mother and daughter, and police hope someone will come forward with new information. Here's Greg Love.
To call this brutal assault surprising is an understatement. A residential neighborhood at midday on a Wednesday. Michael Hines was targeted, and we want to know by whom. Crime Stoppers is a totally confidential way to share what you know with investigators, and of course, your tip could lead to reward cash.
They brought this crime to his family that had nothing to do with the incident.
Just shy of a year ago, police tape was stretched across Pine Lawn Road in Brainerd. Michael Hines had been murdered in front of his mother and his daughter, and his killers had gotten away.
It was very quick. We do think that it was planned out. They knew exactly where they were going and they knew who they were going after.
We'll reenact the crime as Chattanooga Police Sergeant Victor Miller describes what happened just after lunchtime on that Wednesday afternoon.
His mother was outside getting ready for spring, cleaning the flower beds, planting. Whenever they approached her initially at the door, she had no idea what they wanted, other than they wanted to talk to Michael, and they had guns, so she complied with what they wanted to do.
Hey, where's Cash?
Michael's nickname was Cash. One of the men stayed with her as the other went to find Hines in the garage. First, the killer went for his money. Then he took his life.
Hey, Cash, where the money at?
What money?
Where the money at?
What money, man? I don't have no money. Oh.
The suspects are younger-looking black males around 6 feet tall with thin builds. Hines was from Chattanooga but was living in Atlanta, so the killers could be from either place.
They left the residence on foot, but we would imagine that somewhere near there was a vehicle.
Michael's daughter Jasmine also witnessed his murder. The 22-year-old was shockingly shot and killed less than 6 months later in an unrelated incident.
I just have to pray every day because I have had so much death in my family in the past year.
This family has suffered terrible and tragic loss. Justice can't fill their void, but could offer them a little peace.
I'd be all right at times, but sometimes if I ride down the street or if I think about her, if I look at her, you know, that's even with my son. I just start crying.
If you know anything, we want to hear from you.
You could be a neighbor that saw someone leaving that has a description. You could have seen a vehicle that was in the area that could have been casing the area, circling the block. It could be that you saw a vehicle leaving the area at a high rate of speed.
Or maybe you know who's responsible, but you're scared for your safety. Crime Stoppers is the ideal way you can help.
When you call in, we give you a number, and that number stays with you throughout the entire time. We'll never ask for your name.
Up to $1,000 reward cash is on the table.
Michael's mother has been very involved throughout the entire investigation, and you know, now she has lost 2 of her family members in 2016. So it's very important for her and her family to get this case solved, and so they have some resolution and peace about themselves.
If you know something or you've heard something, no matter how small the detail or how outlandish the claim, it's time to call Crime Stoppers. 698-3333 is the number. If you get voicemail, leave a way for Sergeant Miller to get back with you. He may have a question or two, but he will never ask who you are. David, Cindy.
Greg, thank you. Now it's time to check in with Chief Meteorologist Paul Barris. What did they say about the calm after? It's not the calm before, but
well, we'll take any calm after what we've had today. Paul, what's ahead the next 24 hours?
It's looking pretty good. We're going to start to see some clearing. Now let's take a look right now, though, at the storm spotting class. That's right, it's coming up. If you can help me with the prompter, that'd be great. We got next training class is going to be coming up on Thursday, tomorrow, March 2nd, in Jasper at 6:30 Central Time at the Marion County Commission building. So if you live especially out in Marion County or somewhere near Jasper and you want to go to it, it's free and you'll learn how to become a storm spotter. After a day like today, that doesn't get you interested in it, nothing will. So at least we didn't have tornadoes today, but we did have some strong gusty winds, just like we were expecting. 64 in Nashville and in the city now, but it's 77 in Atlanta, 60 in Knoxville, and temperatures in the 50s up into Kentucky, and that cool air is going to be diving our way. Big showers and storms south of our viewing area. We just got a few sprinkles left over east of the city, not much. Again, the heaviest rain well to the south. Atlanta's going to get hit pretty hard. I think they're going to have some severe thunderstorms in the metro area of Atlanta, and that's going to push all the way into the Carolinas too. Already getting some reports of severe weather breaking out into parts of North Carolina. Out of our viewing area, of course, down south of Birmingham to Montgomery and all the way in the southern part of Mississippi, some pretty good storms popping too. Now, winds are calm right now, but they will pick up later on tonight once that cold front slips in, but it hasn't yet. It was 64 for the temperature, 61 in Cleveland, 62 in Athens, 62 in Dalton, 60 in Murphy, and Fort Payne's coming in at about 61. Now 75 and 61 were the high and the low. We had about 35/100ths of an inch of rain for today, which was very helpful. And we're going to take a look right now, hopefully, at the Skywatcher report in a second here. There we go. About 3/10 of an inch of rain in Lafayette, Dalton, 3/10 in Scottsboro, 1/2 inch in Chatsworth, 4/10 though out near Calhoun, only 1/10 in Trenton, and LJ 4/10 out near Fort Mountain. Red Bank had about 4/10, 4/10 Lakeside to 6/10 Dunlap, also up into Mowbray Mountain with 3/10 Lookout Mountain, also in Varnell. Ringgold, Johnny Park said he only got 1/10, and only about 1/10 in Eastridge too, with 6/10 out near Cleveland, Ooltewah 5/10, and Riceville had 4/10, while Delano had about 3/10 of an inch of rain. Dayton had about 7/10, and then we had 7/10 in Colmont too. So pretty good amount of rain. Athens about 8/10, and then we had 4/10 in Turtletown to Murphy, and I think over the last couple days, on average, anywhere between 1.25 inches to almost 2 inches of rain fell across the Tennessee Valley. And again, that helps because we're really going to dry off over the next few days. On Vipercast, by tomorrow morning, clear skies, winds out of the northwest. It's going to stay that way for tomorrow. They'll die down a little bit for tomorrow night, and another cold front's going to come in. That'll kick off the winds again into Friday, and they'll be fairly strong, and the colder air will continue to dive in. So next few days are going to be fairly cool compared to what it's been, but not outrageously cold at all. And then coming up into Saturday night and Sunday morning, we'll see a few more clouds, but we're going to hold off on the rain more than likely until next Tuesday, a long way off, 6 days away. Tonight, 41 with some showers, ending well east of the city, clearing and cooler, northwesterly winds 10 to 15 and gusty. Tomorrow, 59 for the high, lots of sun and northwesterly wind at about 10 to 15, going to make it feel a little bit cooler. 34 tomorrow night with clear skies and light winds. And the 7-day forecast Friday, 54, but 29 Saturday morning. It'll be a cold one. 57 for the high on Saturday. And then on Sunday, still cool in the morning at 34, 62 for the high. And then on Monday, partly cloudy and 66, some showers Tuesday, and drying off again next Wednesday. So a little bit of a cool down, but it's going to be refreshing.
Good. We like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
And the schools are open tomorrow. Just want to make that clear. Coming up next, Joel Jelnick has sports for you right here on Channel 3.
The Southern Conference tournament is just 3 days away, and as it stands, the Mocs have until then to figure out how to win without 2 of their key starters. Senior Trey McClain was ruled unavailable for Monday's game against the Citadel due to conduct detrimental to the team. And in a press conference today, McCall said that there has been a plan laid out for McClain to be a part of the team going forward, but it is still to be determined on whether or not he will travel with the team this weekend. Mocs senior guard Greg Pryor has been confirmed out for the tournament this weekend. Pryor broke his hand last Saturday after punching a door following the Mocs loss to Mercer.
He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he was hurt. And he just took his frustration out with one swing, not on anyone's face, not because of anyone did anything in the locker room, just because he was frustrated. And he was frustrated with himself. But he should never be looked at in a negative way at all, because that guy's put his heart and soul into this program for 4 years, and he is about our culture.
A little bit on the brighter side, the SoCon announced their postseason awards this morning, and Mocs senior forward Justin Toyo was named the league's Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. Toyo also made the first team All-Conference team. Trey McLean was the only other Moc named to the 3rd team All-Conference. The men will play their first game of the SoCon tournament against Wofford Saturday, 2:30 p.m. And Sports Director Paul Shaheen will be there and has us covered. Well, yesterday, the University of Tennessee announced their new athletic director, John Curry, from Kansas State. We'll hear from him tomorrow in his very first press conference. But today, UTC's athletic director, David Blackburn, who was also a candidate for the position, released the following statement, quote, "After hearing the announcement of the new director of athletics at the University of Tennessee, I want to let everyone know I wish them well. It is no secret that my name was mentioned as a possible candidate, but I did not interview with the new chancellor or the search committee. I remain laser focused on the progression of Chattanooga athletics and equipping our student athletes for continued growth and success in the classroom, in competition, and in the community." You can find that full statement online, WRCBTV.com.
Jill, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to Paul Shaheen's reports from the SoCon tournament.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it.
And Paul, before we go to, again, just a quick note of thanks to all those people who've worked so hard today to restore the power and, pick up all the downed lines and take care of the trees. A lot of folks have worked very hard today.
And to our Storm Alert team for keeping us aware of everything.
That's right. Well, we kept it down to a minimum, right?
Yes.
That's the way we have to look at it. No tornadoes, just some strong gusty winds. Let's take a look right now at your evening out. Some clouds throughout this evening. 52 by midnight, 41 to 45, clear skies and breezy in the morning.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
NBC News is next right here on Channel 3.
Yeah. He had better things to do. I like how Lemmy got beat up by your package.
That's right. Kilt. He got kilt. Just like Paul said, the month of March roared in like a lion with powerful storms. We're checking on the hardest hit neighborhoods tonight after Chicago Justice.
And I'll show you when the winds will ease up and when cooler weather is going to move back in with sunshine too.